Hello and welcome back to my channel. I did a quick overview of what I did last year and also what my 2021 goals are. Reading goals, that is. I have lots of other goals, believe you me. But reading wise, I want to read 500 books for 2021 because that was the goal that I set last year, and last year I ended up at 626 books, and I'll pop that graphic up. So I decided to leave it at 500, especially since November, December were very difficult months for me and I really did not read that much. So what I decided to do is to keep the goal at 500 and we'll see what happens. I met the 500 goal last September. So it took me 9 months to read 500, and then from October through December I read 126 books. So my reading really dropped off at the end of the year, so we'll just leave it at 500 for now. But this video is not to talk about that. It's to talk about some of the series that I finished last year and some of the series that I plan on reading this year. I'm only going to tell you about mostly extensive series with the exception of one, which is, I think, only has 7 books. But the kinds of books that I'm not going to tell you about in this video will be blog tour titles that are successive books in series that I started in 2019 or 2020. An example is The Other Mothers by M.M. Chouinard, and I'll throw up that graphic to show you that it's a series book. It's the 3rd book in the series. I read the first 2, and I will continue to read any successive books for blog tours as they come up for blog tour requests. Those are not going to really be discussed in detail in this video. In this video, we're talking about the casual reading that I enjoy doing because I am a die-hard series fanatic. I absolutely love series, and I'm going to throw up these 2 graphics on the screen. Let me show you them in print form. Here's one, page 1, and here's page 2. So I love series. I love tracking them on spreadsheets, and I'll try to throw the graphics up on the screen. No, you're not going to be able to read it because it's just too voluminous. So just to give you an idea that I love series. So with regard to the spreadsheet that I have, I thought I would first tell you some of the series, the longer series that I finished. I don't know why I'm getting so many notifications. I'm sorry for that. Those dings. I wish I knew how to shut them off. It's a new device and I don't know how to shut the sound off. That's my new Samsung Galaxy that's dinging. Everything else is on silent. But anyway, what I thought I would tell you in this video, okay, I stopped the video and hopefully I stopped the notifications and I will meld these 2 together. But I thought what I would tell you in this video are books, series that I finished, some of the bigger series that I finished in 2020, and some of the series that I plan on reading in 2021. So let's go to my pictures. I will show you screenshots of the albums that I took on my iPad, but I won't show you the individual covers because we'll be here all day. One of the series that I started at the end of 2019 and finished in 2020 was the Eve Duncan series by Iris Johansen. I cannot tell you how many books there were, maybe 22 or 23, but that graphic is going up in 5, 10, 15, 20, 26. Okay, so 26, I'm looking at the graphic here. So I finished that. My cat's trying to figure out how to jump on my lap right now. So I finished that series in 2020, the Eve Duncan series by Iris Johansen. Another quick series that I read, it was only 5 books, was the Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series. And I don't have it slated, his other series, 2 series slated to read in 2021 at this point, but I may add them in later, so that graphic will go up. I also finished the Leslie Meyer books, the Lucy Stone series. I'm only throwing the graphic up for the last 6 books in that series. I started it in 2019, and finished it in 2020. But at the end of 2019, I had finished all but the last few books. So that short graphic is going to go up. Another series that I read from beginning to end, no, I won't say beginning and end in 2020. I believe I started this in 2019 as well, as a J.D. Robb book. So this graphic here will show the J.D. Robb books that I read in 2020. And that graphic is going up. I finished that series. I do notice that this graphic is incomplete because I did read the February title, the one that's coming up, and that's not in this graphic, but I did read that already. I read a couple of Karen Slaughter series. The first one was her, let's see, which one came out first? The Will Trent series by Karen Slaughter. And there were 4, 8, 11. There might have been a couple of novellas in there. And I see one was a compilation. Okay, the cat's behind me. He couldn't figure out how to jump on my lap in this gaming chair. So I read the Will Trent series, and that graphic again is going up. And then I read the Grant County series. I just can't remember which one was first. I believe the Will Trent came before Grant County. Then I read another Iris Johansson series, and this one, I believe, did she write this with her? Yeah, she wrote this series with her son, which is the Kendra Michaels series. And I do have a delivery from this publisher coming up. So I think the one that I have now, and I'm going to put that graphic up because I have it in ebook, that I believe is, I read, let's see, 6 books in 2020 in the Kendra Michaels series, and the graphic that's also going up, I believe, is part of that series, but I'm not 100% sure. And that's by Iris Johansson and her son Roy Johansson. Another Iris Johansson series I read was the Catherine Ling series, only 5 books in that one, and again that graphic is going up. And I think that is the end of the bigger series, with the exception of the small Percy Jackson series that I read or finished in 2020. So that shows you that I was die hard into my series. Now, when I showed you my series graphics, there were many series on it. The Amy Jarecki, Angela Marston's, Amy Lillard, Betty Rowlands, let's see, Patricia Gibney. I'm just looking at this, Carol Wire, Emma Talon. All of those I mostly read in 2018, 2019. And for example, Carol Wire's Somebody's Daughter came out in 2020, but I started it when the series was introduced. Joanna Shoup, Karen Rainey, I mean, countless series that I read, but those are shorter ones that I didn't provide graphics for. So what am I going to do in 2021? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to go back. I'm using my phone just to save time. In 2021, I plan on finishing the James Patterson Women's Murder Club series. I read the first 10, but I'm including all the screen covers in this graphic. And so that leaves me with numbers 11 to 21, and I think 16.5. Between 16 and 17, there's a novella called The Medical Examiner. So I'll be reading that series this year. We're finishing that series this year. Another series that I began in 2020 is the Joanna Fluke, Hannah Rayburn series. And that screenshot is going up as well. And I think I read only the first 5, maybe the first 6 in there. And so I plan on finishing this series in 2020, and it's up to 27 books plus novellas. A shorter series that I cannot wait to read is the Deanna, Rayburn, Veronica, Speedwell series. My friend, actually for Sean and I, who is WTF Are You Reading, we were on Berkeley's, we were on NetGalley's, the NetGalley site on the Berkeley publisher page. at the same time a little while ago. And I said, wait a minute, are you familiar with Deanna Rayburn? And because in Unexpected Peril, which I think comes up in May or April or May, is up there. She goes, oh, I love Deanna Rayburn. As a matter of fact, I have all of her books. So the thing is, I have Fashawn's Amazon, and I think I just hit my mic. I have Fashawn's Amazon and Audible information, and she has mine. So she says, go look at that Kindle. So this Kindle Fire here in this purple cover is an old Kindle Fire. Well, this has Fashawn's account, and so she told me to grab this Kindle. So I'm going to show you what I did, even though I have I'm typing something in the search. Even though I have the screenshot up on Fashawn's Kindle, she has, can you see that? Nope. I think I just, wait a minute, something happened. Let's do this again. Just bear with me, because this is exciting when I find something that I want to read. I tapped the screen, so now I just have to go get it again. Okay, let's do this without tapping the screen. So there they are, all of the first 5 Deanna Rayburn, Veronica Speedwell books in audiobook, and then book number 6 is on NetGalley. So boom, I'll be reading that series this year. Oh, I meant to tell you in my wrap-up no, it really wouldn't be in my wrap-up. Okay, I'll just tell you it like this. To start off this year, I did binge read a series, and it was Bridgerton. I mentioned it in one of the videos that I did, so that screenshot will go up. And so that's my first completed series for 2020. So that's the Bridgerton series. There were 8 books, and then the 9th book was a compilation of the second epilogue for each of the first 7 books, and then a bonus story. Another series that I have had in my TBR since 2018 is the Laura Childs Tea Shop Mysteries, and that's up to 22 books, and I just haven't had any time. So all of that, and I know that you can't see any of these book covers, but just the graphic alone will give you an idea of what I have in store. So I checked my library via Overdrive, and these books are available as ebooks. So the Laura Childs Tea Shop Mysteries is in my TBR for 2021. Now, Fashawn has been telling me, because again, we belong to NetGalley, and I'll give you a little bit of the history. The Lightning Game came up by Christine Feehan on NetGalley, and she's like, Robin, you've got to get this Christine Feehan book. And I'm like, Fashawn, I don't read Christine Feehan. You know that I don't read paranormal, because I don't read anything to do with ghosts, the afterlife, or vampires and werewolves. I don't read any of that. She goes, no, Robin. I went ahead and went to my library and got, what book did she get? She got Shadow Game, and she said that it is a scientific experiment gone bad, and it's based on that. And I'm like, interesting. So I'm going to read Shadow Game, and if it doesn't violate my, where I crossed the line, I might very well be reading the Ghostwalker series by Christine Feehan. And let's see, that's it. So we talked about Christine Feehan's Ghostwalker series, Laura Childs, the Tea Shop Mysteries. I finished Bridgerton already, Deanna Rayburn's Veronica Speedwell series, to continue on in the Hannah Rayburn series by Joanna Fluke, to continue on in the Women's Murder Club series by James Patterson. And that is pretty much my series goals for 2021. Like I said, with the exception of blog tour books that are coming up that continue, like the one that I mentioned earlier, The Other Mothers by Chouinard, and anything else that Booker Shore or Harlequin or St. Martin's, HarperCollins, as those blog tour requests come in, if they're continuances, I will read those, but they're not the voluminous ones like I mentioned. So that's it. I just wanted to tell you what I have in mind to add on to my goal of 500. So, you know, ultimately I'll probably shoot for 600 so I can squeeze in all of these books here too. All right, that's it for now. Bye-bye.